So whenever I tell people, or they ask, well, nobody ever really asks you, but they'll talk about age, and I say, well, I'm 84, I'm going to be 85, and they go, wow, and I go, yeah, wow, I feel the same way, wow. Of course, I was going to talk to you, and I am going to talk to you about some things that have worked for me, but just to remind me and all of us how vulnerable we are. As I was walking across my kitchen this just now, uh, to set up the video, I tripped over a piece of molding that I have tile floors and I have wood, and there's a piece of molding. And my sandal, the toe of my sandal caught a piece of molding, and I didn't fall, which is I'm very grateful for that. Um, but you never know. You never know. I have fallen before. I've hurt myself. I had to have stitches in my chin about 2 years ago. I fell in the park and cut my chin open, and I'm bleeding all over the park. Had to go over to the emergency ward and get 4 stitches, or was it 5? Without any anesthesia, because I didn't have any. No, because the doctor said, look, the anesthesia needle is bigger than the needle I'm going to use to sew you up. I love Mexico. I was watching this guy last night, or maybe the other day, about healthy living. The things that they've studied all these, maybe 112 older people who were 112, or close to that. And the main thing about living to an old age is to be able to enjoy it, have a healthy old age, an able-bodied old age. And the thing is, because what's the use if you're like 108 years old and you're in a nursing home and you're in a wheelchair and they have to feed you baby food? This doesn't seem like a quality life, okay? You're breathing, you're breathing, but on the other hand, Stephen Hawking, he was managed, and at a very young age had some horrible disease, a disabling disease, but his brain worked. But we're not all Stephen Hawkings. They're very few and far between. This is what I think about. I think a lot is luck, or the draw of the genes, but it turns out it's not. Apparently, a lot of it is about inflammation. And that's a big thing you want to avoid in your life if you can. Inflammation of the brain, inflammation of the body. And I don't know how you find that. I guess you could take a test. It turns out you can take some sort of a test that will tell you if and when and how much inflammation you have in your body. And that seems to be the difference between people who live to a healthy older age and those who don't. I don't know. If you don't have diabetes and you don't have arthritis, you're really doing good. You're really good, because those are the two things. And very early. I was friends with a neurosurgeon at Cedars-Sinai we used to smoke dope when I used to smoke dope. By the way, I don't smoke any marijuana. I don't use any drugs except, blood pressure pills and some statins. And I'm not much of a drinker. I never was much of a drinker. And I don't know if this has anything to do with it, although there's a much higher rate of cancer among people who drink a lot, particularly women. Women have to watch out for that. I guess if you're a man, you can have 1 glass a night or day. If you're a woman, they say 4 glasses a week most. And I might have 4 glasses in a month. It just doesn't really appeal to me. It really doesn't appeal to me. Although I used to drink a couple of martinis, dancing with my friends like I was a teenager, like we were all teenagers. That's one of the things about expat communities I discovered when I first come here. It's a little bit like high school. And I went, I don't think so. So I live in a Mexican community now, and it's like normal. So I'm going to look at my notes here. Okay, so you want to avoid inflammation. So that's about food. So if you are still eating things out of bags, no, stop it. If you're eating things you bought at the convenience store, you bought at the store that came in a bag, chips, anything that comes in a bag, don't do that. And also those kinds of meats, hot dogs, bologna, I don't know what they are. Processed meat is very not so great for you. I don't know, I stopped eating meat in 1922. Carol, get a clue. This is what it is to be old. 1992. I want you to see, I'm not boasting. I'm barely getting through the day here, okay? But I think some of the things that I have done in my life that have helped me to have a better, healthy life. And I've had issues, I've hurt my knee, I talked about my chin already. But I healed. I healed. And now I'm more aware. This is the things that I did as I got older. A lot of people are into conveniences. I remember those. And I just didn't do it. I just didn't do it. I did my own laundry. I uh, uh, don't have a garbage pail with wheels on it. I got to pull it out. Of course, there's only one bag of garbage, but I still got to pull it outside the gate. I have a house that's got 5 stairs on the front, so I'm up and down those stairs all the time. And again, that helps. Thank you. No arthritis that I know of. I just what it says. Unless you have to. If you have to use conveniences, if you need a wagon to pull your groceries, yes. If you don't, carry them. Carry your groceries. Now, I must say that I did give myself the treat this year of having my laundry done. It was boring. And I didn't like using the water and the gas for it. And I just didn't want it. I didn't want to have to deal with possible leaks from the water flushing out. And it's because I live in Mexico, which is $6. It's $6 to have my laundry done. Now it says, I go outside a lot. This morning I just went outside I just took my juice outside and sat outside for about 20 minutes. I just needed to get outside. And then I do walk a dog. Here's the other thing. Once you're past 70, let's face it, you got to find something to do with yourself, and it can't just be your family, because your family can't be your hobby. So get a hobby, whatever it is. You always wanted to write, you wanted to paint, volunteer at the local thrift store. Find something to do with yourself, because that's a really important thing. And if you can't do that, if again you have issues with mobility, get an animal. And if you have real issues with mobility, get a service dog. But get a cat, something. I do sometimes rescue work with animals privately. With a friend of mine, we do it. And that's really a rewarding thing to do. Let me see whatever notes I have here. I don't want to make this too long. Well, I did cover inflammation. Yeah, a hose rack. I was thinking the other day about a hose rack when I was yanking the hose out to water and think, oh my God, I gotta have to roll that. Don't have a hose rack. Try and avoid conveniences that make things easier for you. Things should be a little bit harder for us, not because we're older, but it wouldn't have been hard for you. It would be a no-brainer when you were 25 or 45 or 55. But for me, I will tell you, it is a struggle with that hose. But it's a struggle I want to have. It's a struggle I want to have. So I think you want to choose your conveniences. The other thing I absolutely won't do is watch television in bed. Do not do that. Don't fall asleep watching an electronic thing. Don't do it, because you have no control about what you're going to hear while you're asleep. So, okay, I'm sure I seem quite eccentric, and perhaps I am a little bit eccentric, or maybe a lot. Those are I don't think they're secrets or they're really tips. It's worked for me. I saw when I was getting weaker, when I had a housekeeper that came every day 2 years ago, and then she also did the shopping for me, and she carried the groceries for me, I was getting weaker. And when she left and I had to do I do have 2 people that come once a week, and they do the heavy stuff, like a 5-gallon, it's a 7-gallon Garrafon of water. I really can't lift 50 pounds. I can do up to 20 or 25 pounds. The other thing is I do sometimes do yoga. I wish I could say I did it all the time, but I don't. But I do walk every single day. I walk 3 times a day, and at least one of those walks is about a mile. I have a little crazy active dog, so if I don't walk her, I feel guilty and terrible. But I loved to walk before I had a dog. It's one of the reasons I got a dog originally, because I just decided, and I decided that when I was around 50, because I moved to a place where you could walk. Before that, I'd always lived in cities, and yeah, well, I grew up in New York City, so you really do walk in New York. You walk a lot in New York. But when I moved to California, everybody drove cars all the time, and you never got. That's it. I mean, and then gratitude. Yeah, gratitude. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for what I have and for what I don't have. And I'm also grateful that I live in a country where I don't feel like cha-ching all the time. I don't feel when I see a doctor, they're thinking cha-ching. Or when I go to the store, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I go like, it's reasonable. And I've also, yeah. Anyway, that's it.